said, also robustly follow on the usage of those resources. Your colleague from Embu was here. She admitted herself under oath that the county government of Embu took 10 million shillings from the KIPES fund to sponsor a border event, a public rally. She admitted it. That was not Sifuna. That was not this committee. We are not the ones who told her to raid the KIPES account for money. It's an illegality, and she confirmed herself. If that is what they are calling, that somehow some of us are advancing political interest, we are not the ones who sent her to take money. Number two, Chair, Bungoma was here. In their own documents, and I want the leadership to understand this. Bungoma brought us court papers in which they are telling the court that the county government of Bungoma used 4 million shillings to light a Christmas tree in September. Court documents. They themselves prepared those court documents. They are the ones telling the court. Vihiga was here. They told us there was a bash for the speaker's residence, and they took money that could have helped the people of Vihiga. 5 million shillings for a bash for the speaker's residence. That was not Sifuna. That was not any of the members of this committee. They admitted it themselves. Governor, if honestly speaking, we are expected to paper over such issues, to ignore such issues, then what is oversight? What is oversight? We give you the money, you use the money, you have to account for the money. Yeah? So, when we hear statements from the Council of Governors saying they will not appear here because we embarrass them, they embarrass themselves by the things that they are doing with the public resources that they've been given. It is embarrassing that a county can spend money on frivolous things like those. It is not Sifuna who expended that money. So they come here unprepared, no proper documentation. You try to follow a conversation, they run away from their own documents. It happens here all the time. You ask a governor, you have brought this document here. They are financials. Chair, they are financials, they run away. Have you disclosed your pending bills? Oh, today they say, oh, we have a separate document, but they run away from their own financials that they submitted to the Auditor General. So, Chair, for me...
Someone said he left his glasses at home.
Another one, yes, came here, and when we showed the document he has presented, and the Chair requested him to read, he said, oh, today I can't see because I left my glasses at home. That's the same person calling us the extortionist, Chair. The same person. He came here, and when we had meetings, we had multiple entities before us. We had to finish with one and then go to his entity. He ran away. He ran away. And then he has the audacity to go to the media and say, oh, this committee should be disbanded and reconstituted. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts is not an appendage of the Council of Governors. When you do your committees, Governor, I don't know which committee you are on. We have never said that, oh, you can't have so-and-so as the chair of finance in the Council of Governors. That's your business. So for me, Chair, I think I like that you issued a statement yesterday, but I don't think that rebuke is enough. I don't think that rebuke is enough. The Council of Governors has to be told in no uncertain terms that there's 67 senators and they think if you substitute Sifuna with somebody else, that other senator will ignore the fact that you spend money on Christmas lights. Which senator in that house did not take the oath Sifuna took? All of us will ask about how you're spending money. So my leaders are here. I don't have to be on this committee, Senator Olekina. I'm telling you as my whip. But I have faith and confidence in all of us, the 67 senators, to ask these questions on behalf of the people of Kenya. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, honorable members, let's also remember that we are not dealing with an errant governor. We are dealing with a governor who is fulfilling his duty to the public. So is there any, I know my leader is here, so maybe I'll give him the last word. Senator Chirarge, before the whip and then minority leaders.
Yeah, I would essentially want to communicate through the interrogation, but as we have directed, I think I largely agree with my colleagues. The appearing before the Senate is not a privilege, it's not a favor, it's a constitutional obligation. The way we fight for resources to go to our counties, is the way we demand accountability. And you know, Council of Governors is an unconstitutional body. It's a club of billionaires. Some of them are running away from corruption cases, and we know a number of them. I saw one governor making serious allegations that this committee should be disbanded. I agree that this committee is not an extension of Council of Governors. That governor will run away, but we'll catch up with him because he must account for the resources that goes to Tarakaniti County. Chair, this committee, I've sat long enough, and I think I used to serve with Olekina, and I knew yourself. I think I now deserve a title of ranking member of this committee, Chair. And I've seen so many governors come and go. So the essence we are just saying in agreement with my leaders is that some of us don't have to sit here. But all the 67 senators will ask. And I agree, the problems governors are easy in their own making. When you come with and buy seedlings of 55.9 million in a drought area like Mandera, and when we ask you why would you prioritize water seedlings over water tracking, you tell us that Mandera is these seedlings are rain-fed. Then those are the questions we ask, Chair. When we ask why there is misallocation or the issue of 3.6 on Christmas tree and many other issues, we just ask because those are the making of what the county governors have done. So my own opinion is very straightforward. We will take no prisoners. Any governor who appears here will deal with you the way you have allocated the money. And I want the way, and I was surprised that Ahmed Abdullahi, the Council of Governors chair, was reading a statement, and he's one of the people in my own recollection who has even refused to appear before here. Wajir has a lot of problems, including drought. I wish, Chair, in conclusion, the retreat your colleagues did, Governor, was to discuss about drought situation in northern Kenya, to discuss about education crisis on bursaries and scholarship, to discuss on how we can intervene on policy and ensure that we allocate 450 billion, and to fight against the global functions by other entities of the county government. That would have been better, but for heaven's sake, to sit in Kwale for personal escapades and watching the waves of the sea does not make sense to some of us, and that money should have been put to use. So, Chair, I agree with my colleagues. We will keep soldiering on. The issue of accountability is not optional. It is not a privilege. It's not a favor. It is a constitutional obligation, Chair. So, as a committee, under your guidance, we agree with you in totality, and I want to take note of the presence of Governor Ntutu, and I think Governor Kitui Malombe, for refusing to be part of the peer pressure to undermine a constitutional body by the name Parliament. So, Chair, I yield back, and we will keep it on.
Thank you. Senator Ledama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me appreciate my governor for appearing and adhering to the fiduciary responsibility that the people of Narok have entrusted him with. Mr. Chairman, unity of the governors will not shield them from corruption. It will not shield them from accountability. And it is important for them to realize that the law is very clear. The Constitution and our Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, Section 19, is quite succinct. It actually stipulates clearly that when a witness is called before Parliament and failed to appear, that witness will be held personally responsible and personally liable. It is not going to be a collective responsibility. This is what these governors are failing to understand. You know, yesterday I was listening to the governors making that statement, and I'm happy that my governors come here, because what I saw was arrogance, I saw self-preservation, and that is not leadership. Leadership is about service delivery. And that is what I hope that the other governors will be able to understand. You know, these are things that will come and go. You know, I spoke to one of the leaders who spoke yesterday, and I asked him, And one of the biggest problems that he had was that he was being embarrassed. If your documents are an embarrassment, you'll be told. You know, this Senate holds the truth like a loaded gun, ready to shoot at any given time. So it is important for the governors to know out there that as far as accountability goes, this Senate recognizes the fact that failing to hold someone accountable is ultimately an act of selfishness, and we cannot trend in those directions. So, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate my governor for appearing, and I hope that those governors who are there, and particularly the leadership of the so-called Council of Governors, will borrow a leaf from the former chair of the Council of Governors, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. He went, made a statement, and the next day he appeared before PAC. He said, we will not appear, but the next day he appeared. So, Governor, thank you so much for appearing.
Honorable members, because, again, as I said, we are not dealing with an errant governor, we probably, to allow the leader of minority to prepare for resumption of the House, maybe we can benefit from his wisdom on this matter before we go into the audit interrogation.
Asante, mwenyekiti. Cha kwanza ambacho nataka kusema ni kwamba nataka kutoa kongole kwa gavana wa Narok kwa kuweza kufika mbele ya kamati hii. Gavana ninavyomuelewa ni kwamba ni mtu mstaarabu sana. Hiyo inatokana na ile familia yake. Kuna yule mkubwa wake tulikuwa naye katika Senate ile ya kwanza. Yule mkubwa wake, hata huyu ni kama nilikuwa naangalia nikafikiria ni mtoto wake, kumbe ni ndugu. Alikuwa muungwana sana. Kwa hiyo nafikiria hizo ni tabia ziko ndani ya familia na nataka kumpatia kongole sana. Cha pili ni kwamba ukiwa umeishi Kilifi utakuwa pia wewe ni mtu muungwana. Huyu alikuwa mtawala akiwa kama dio kule Kilifi. Kwa hiyo ni mtu ambaye watu wa Kilifi walimtambua sana na walimpenda katika kazi yake aliyokuwa akifanya kama dio. Nikisema hivyo ni kwamba nataka kumwambia karibu sana katika kamati hii, na hii kamati itachunguza na vile vile yote utakaoulizwa ukiajibu kisawasawa watakuwa hawana shida na wewe. Huo ndio uungwana tunasema, sio kukataa mwito. Cha pili ni kwamba uko na seneta hapa anaitwa Ledama Olekina. Ni seneta mjasiri sana ndani ya bunge la Senate. Kitu chochote cha Narok anaweza ana support, kikiwa ni kizuri kina support mambo ya Narok, na pia vile vile kama kuna tashwishi kidogo anatetea sana mambo ya Narok. Kwa hiyo uko na mjasiri ukiwa hapa kuangalia mambo yako ndani ya bunge la Senate. Wana speaker, utanipatia nafasi sasa niende kwa ile vile ambavyo nimekuja kusema hapa ya kwamba hii kamati ya CPAC ni kamati kuu katika zile kamati zote tulizo nazo ndani ya bunge la Senate. Ni kamati ya juu sana, na sisi sote kama wabunge wa Senate tuna imani sana na kamati hii. Na jambo lolote kufanya kuweka sifa mbaya ama kuweka tashwishi mbele ya Wakenya, hiyo ni jambo ambalo sisi hatutakubali na tunalikemea zaidi. Ya pili ni kwamba wale ndugu zako wameketi Kilifi hivi sasa. Inaonekana Kilifi sasa ndio mahali ambapo ikitaka kutokea kitu kila mtu anakimbia Kilifi. Sasa nafikiria tutambia gavana pia kule na yeye aweke breki. Maneno hii ya kutangaza Kilifi kwa njia ambayo sasa inaonekana inaendelea kutupatia sifa ambayo mimi naona sio. wale wakiwa kule wamekuwa na msemo ama walipitisha msemo fulani ambao ulighadhabisha kila Mkenya ambaye ana imani na bunge la Senate. Cha kwanza ni kwamba kukataa kufika mbele ya kamati hii ni ukiukaji wa sheria, na kamati inaweza kuchukua hatua hiyo. Kwa hiyo si jambo zuri kukataa kufika mbele ya kamati hii ya Senate ikiwa imekuita na wewe ni governor na wewe ndio mnatumia yale mapeni ama unatumia pesa zinazokuja katika mikono yako kama governor. Kwa hiyo mimi nataka kusema kwamba ile statement walisema ya kwamba hapa kuna maseneta ambao wanajihusisha, mimi nataka kuchallenge na kuambia kwamba hakuna hao maseneta wote, hata sisi ambao hatuko katika hii kamati tuko na imani na hii kamati ya Senate ile ambayo inachunguza matumizi ya pesa ndani ya kaunti zote ya 47. Kwa hiyo bwana mwenyekiti, mimi nataka kumalizia tu nikisema ya kwamba Auditor General, mchunguzi wa pesa zinazotumika katika ndani ya serikali na pia serikali zile za ugatuzi zote 47 ameandika, na kazi ya hii committee ni kuangalia ile ripoti yake, na ikiona ile ripoti yake si nzuri, wana haki ya kuita ile county wakiongozwa na gavana wao kufika hapa kujieleza zaidi kulingana na yale matashwishi ama matumizi ambayo yameambiwa na Auditor General ambaye ndio mkaguzi wa pesa za umma, akisema kwamba umetumia pesa vibaya. Senate iko na kamati ambayo inahusika kuweza kuita huyo gavana ambaye anahusika kuja kujibu maswali ni kwa nini alitumia hizo pesa kwa hali mbaya. Na kama kuna ufisadi pia amesema huko ndani, hii kamati iko na uwezo wa kusema kwamba uchunguzwe matumizi yale ya zile pesa. Kwa hiyo mimi nasema ya kwamba katika kipengele cha katiba, kipengele cha 229 na vile vile kipengele cha 125 imepatia mamlaka hii kamati, imepatia mamlaka kuona ya kwamba imeweza kuchunguza matumizi ya pesa yanavyotumika katika serikali zetu za ugatuzi. Hakuna kipya ambacho wamefanya ambacho magavana hawajui. Sasa ile kongamano lao walilonalo, kama walikuwa na mambo mengi ya kusema, wangesema mambo hayo, lakini sio kuingilia kamati ya bunge inayohusika na uchunguzi wa matumizi ya pesa katika serikali zetu za ugatuzi. Na pengine kumalizia, bwana mwenyekiti, mimi nataka kukemea vikali, nakemea vikali maneno yote ambayo yameongeleshwa na ile wanaita COG ama ni ile Council of Governors, ile statement waliosema ya kujaribu kukashifu kamati ya bunge ambalo liko na imani, bunge la Senate liko na imani na kamati hii. Nataka kukashifu na kusema ya kwamba wasijaribu kuharibu jina la kamati yetu ambao sisi sote tuko na imani nayo. Kama kuna chochote wanachokuwa nayo tashishi nao, wakuja hapa mbele waseme. Uwanja ndio huu, sio kukimbia hii kamati. Asante sana mwenyekiti kwa kunipatia nafasi.
Asante sana kiongozi.
Chair, with your indulgence, sorry for going back. Omwami Sifuna, now that you are Secretary General of the party and the chair of COG is a member of your party, is it too much to ask that you move the party to summon him and appear for disciplinary action for undermining one of the principles of the party and threatening the legacy of Raila Odinga? I think that is my request. Thank you, Chair.
I don't think that the chair of COG is acting under instructions from the ODM party. If they are doing monkey business in the county, it's not sanctioned by ODM. And he will come here and will explain himself. I think I want to appreciate the comments by my fellow senators. And two key things have come out. And let me just put it plainly. If you come here with embarrassing records, we will embarrass you. If you come here with embarrassing responses, we will embarrass you. If your audit reports are an embarrassment indicative of theft, we will not bembeleza you. If your physical appearance is an embarrassment, we will embarrass you. But if you are organized, the way we can see, the order in these responses, then it's like a tennis game. We serve and we respond to your service. The other thing that has come out is that the Senate is ready and willing to work and improve relationships with the leadership of the counties that now sits together as a Council of Governors. But we are concerned that the Council of Governors is becoming a gossip club, and that the Council of Governors is becoming a trade union to defend impunity. We will not avail ourselves as a Senate to discuss gossip. And the Speaker of the Senate, I think, has put out a strong statement this afternoon, saying that instead of gossiping and mudslinging, provide evidence to support any allegations that we might have on the conduct of members of the Senate. But we will avail ourselves very readily and very quick if the conversation is about the drought situation in the 23 counties. Governor, I passed through Narok over the weekend and I could see that parts of Narok could be suffering severe drought. If that is the agenda, we will come, we'll suspend all our business and we'll avail ourselves. We'll avail ourselves if the discussion is on how to raise 450 billion as division of revenue. We will avail ourselves if the discussion is how to ensure that there are strong intergovernmental agreements, because the national government is doing a lot of housing projects on county land, markets, stadia, and I think even hospitals. I think there's an audit query here where you have transferred your hospital to the DOD. We'll avail ourselves for that conversation. We'll avail ourselves for a conversation on how to improve the lot of ECD teachers. We'll avail ourselves for a conversation on how to transfer the roads function to counties, and that is in this audit report. But we will not avail ourselves for a conversation on gossip, mudslinging, character assassination, and I think, as I said, the guilty are afraid. Anyone doing monkey business in the county should be very afraid of the Senate. But if you are doing the right thing, you should walk into the Senate confidently, the way the governor of Narok has walked to the Senate. Now let's proceed and test the confidence. Let's now eat the pudding, because we said that is where the proof is. Very nicely presented documents. Let's see whether we can judge this book by the cover. Because of time, we had already gone through this report and the Auditor General has taken us through. We are not going to waste time on accounting issues. But there could be 3 or 4 issues that we must deal with. One, and take note, is on pending bills. 2, we'll look at a few projects. 3, there is this audit query on county spending money on Kera roads. 4 will be contributions to pension schemes. 5 will be grounded assets. And 6, on the receipt of revenue, we'll look at the issue of caps. There is an audit query there. I think if we deal with those, the rest of the issues, we can take the written responses. Honorable members, if that is in order, then I can direct us straight away to the issue of pending bills. It is implied under issue number 2 on unsupported expenditure on rentals or produce assets. But Auditor General, as we had discussed earlier, you did not highlight the issue of pending bills in Narok. And so on this, I think I just want us to have a conversation, Governor, on pending bills. Just a conversation so that we understand where we are. Auditor General, what was the pending bill for Narok as at the close of the financial year? And honorable members, I think we are guided
Thank you, Chair. The total trade and other payables balance was 6,659,641,072 shillings. Thank you, Chair.
So I know that we no longer call it pending bills, it's called trade payables, but I mean, it's still the same. It's money that we owe to suppliers and contractors. So, Governor, we were a bit alarmed to see that your trade payables or pending bills had increased from 773 million to 6.6 billion. Can your bookkeepers explain that, or are you able to explain that? That's almost an 9 times growth.
Why don't you read the query first?
Governor, we want to be efficient, so we are not going to go through these, the details of this query on rental. I think it's important that when you're here, the people of Narok have an assurance that those who have done work will be paid, and they'll be paid on a timely basis, and there'll be no witch hunt that past bills are not being paid. Yeah, so could you just explain that trend?
Honorable Chair, the issue of pending bills, from where we sit is the total amount of the projects done by the county government. And from where I sit, when I look at 6.6 from 773, these must be the total amount of money that we have spent for the projects that we have done in the entire, I think, 2 years, not 1 year, as indicated here.
Now, you see that your financial statements are supposed to be authoritative and indicative of what you owe. And we have had this conversation with the auditor. I think we might want to ask the auditor to do some deeper analysis. But the people who prepared your financial statements, we have almost 1 billion in terms of unremitted contributions to statutory unremitted retirement benefits contribution of 1.9 billion. Ideally, that should have been disclosed as employee payables under your trade and other payables. So that was not disclosed. Another thing that you ought to do was aging of the debt, so that if your debt is 6.6 billion, we are able to tell how old is it? Is it over 3 years? Is it within 1 year? Again, you did not make that disclosure. Now, the reason why I have a problem is that the auditor is telling us that you provided them with an aging analysis. Auditor, is that the case?
Yes, Chair, we had a schedule indicating that all these were within 1 year.
Did that schedule disclose staff payables?
Yes, 1.911 billion.
So is that 1.9 over and above the 6.6 billion?
No, Chair, it is included.
But it is not in the financial statement. And this is the financial statement that we are considering. Senator Sifuna?
Yeah, Chair, also, you know, Governor, you've told us that that amount is not for 1 year. But the aging analysis that you provided to the auditor, he says it was only for 1 financial year. And because your statements here, the financials themselves, there is supposed to be numbers in this aging analysis. But whoever prepared the financial statements has indicated 0 on each of those years. So how are we supposed to trust that what you're telling us is the correct position?
Maybe before the governor answers that question, Chair. Auditors, do you have this aging analysis of these bills, of the 6.6 billion? Because from note 32, I can only see trade payables. And also when we go back to your query, you don't relate back to it. You just if you could give us that breakdown of the 6.6. Do you have it with you? Because you said you are provided it was for 1 year.
And you know you're the one who has caused yourself problems by saying you have it. Ideally, we should be demanding from the governor.
Yes, Chair, we can provide.
Senator Chawake?
It is interesting today the OAG is providing evidence. Anyway, that's a story for another day. In this 6.6 billion, Governor, there was 773 million. The OAG indicates, Governor, that this one was within 1 year. So this growth of 5.9 billion, this pending bill or trade payables or pending bills, what is it? Maybe you can give us a global view. What is it about? Were you able to start mega projects, or the issue of retentions and deposits? This growth, because we have never seen this, because I don't know how much Narok receives, but looking at 6.6 billion, that growth in 1 year of a pending bill is too huge to raise a lot of concern. So can you assure us that this 6.6 billion pending bill, one, what was it about? And secondly, can you provide evidence of budgetary allocation to ensure that the businessmen and women of Narok and other Kenyans who are supplying goods and services are paid in time and they can get value for money? Finally, Chair, on aging analysis, I don't know, some of us would really wish to see it. If you can allow the OAG, I know it's not acceptable to get the evidence as the hearing is ongoing, but you'd request that if we can get that copy of aging analysis so that we can get the perspective. But Governor, maybe you can restate, if it is this aging analysis, if it is 1 year, then it is still within the financial. Statements that we are provided in note number 32.
Amount. Otherwise, I yield back to the chair.
We had a conversation on this. We have told the Auditor General that they need to do a deeper analysis, and you listen to the comment by Senator Chawake in passing that it's not the auditor to provide evidence, it is the county. The evidence we have before us is that your trade and other payables grew 9 times, from 773 million to 6.6 billion. That is a matter that ought to have been investigated and ought to have been raised by the auditor. Since the auditor did not raise that, it is important for us to take a report to the House, because for every county we have queried pending bills, because that's where, you know, we are hurting suppliers, we are hurting businesses, businesses are shutting down if you're holding on to 6 billion of money that is supposed to be paid. So I think, Clerk, we might want to ask this county to specifically respond on one, how come your pending bills grew 9 times in 1 year? Number 2, provide us with a proper aging analysis. We don't have it. It's not the duty of the Auditor General to provide it. It is the duty of the county to provide it. Number 3, how come staff payables have not been disclosed in the schedule for trade and other payables? Number 4, your payment plan for the 6 billion. And that payment plan must be in line with what we are calling the Ledamo Lekina motion, because your senator brought a motion to the House giving guidance on how counties should settle pending bills, and will be asking for the extent to which you have complied with that resolution. And the last one will be the control of budget. We'll be asking the control of budgets whether you have done a payment plan. And if there's been no payment plan, we'll be advising the control of budget to freeze further requisitions unless you are able to settle the 6.6 billion. I think, members, if we can get answers on that, it can enable us to do a report to the House.
If in addition to the governor, inclusive of the payment plan, provide us with the extract of budgetary allocation, what you have allocated, because this 6.6 billion, looking at you are receiving more than 17.4 billion. Of course, I have not included the revenue, the on-source revenue, raises an alarm. So, Chair, through the Chair, the governor can provide us with the budgetary extraction of how much, because there was a county chair who was paying 100 million per year. You can imagine if you are to pay 100 million per year against 6.6 billion, will take many years until you have retired. So, Governor, can you provide us with the extra budgetary allocation so that we can provide comfort to the people who supply goods and services? I yield back, Chair.
So I hope our directions are clear, and this is not for the auditor to respond to. Auditor, you have to be extremely careful. This is a duty of the entity to provide the disclosure, which they did not do properly in the financial statements. Now, honorable members, let's tie that then to the substantive audit issue on unremitted retirement benefits contributions, because they are linked. So, Auditor General, can you read your finding, and then we consider the governor's response? Unremitted retirement benefits contribution of 1.9 billion. In the audit certificate, it's page 11.
Thank you, Chair. Review of records provided for audit revealed that the county executive owed an amount of 1,911,131,070 to 3 pension funds, which comprise of outstanding contributions and interest balance of Kenya shillings 134,981,919 and 1,728,035,170 as tabulated in the table as shown. That was owed to county pension funds, then local authorities pension trust and LAP fund, all totaling to the 1.911 billion. However, management has not made any effort to clear the outstanding amount, which continue to attract penalties. Further, continued non-remittance is a persistent material breach of the measures established under the Public Finance Management Act and the ability of pension funds to service retirement benefits, as and when such benefits fall due to the retiring employees may have been adversely affected. This was contrary to Regulation 22(2)A of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations of 2015, which requires that in addition to the responsibility of accounting officers provided in the Act, an accounting officer designated under the Act or any other Act shall comply with any tax, levy, duty, pension commitments, and audit commitments as may be provided by the legislation. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law.
Governor, you may respond.
Thank you very much, Chair. The county government acknowledged the observation regarding the outstanding pension contribution and accrued interest owed to the 3 pension schemes, namely the County Pension Fund scheme, Local Authority Pension Trust, and Local Authority Providence Fund, amounting to 1.9 million shilling. However, a total of 426 million was paid during the year under review. The delay in full remittance arose mainly due to the historical carry forward arrears inherited from the defunct local authorities, coupled with reverse revenue shortfalls during the previous financial period. Nevertheless, the county government has since prioritized settlement of the pension arrears as part of the fiscal obligation under Regulation 22(2)A, of the Public Finance Management, County Government Regulation 2015, and the County Government Retirement Scheme Act 2019. To date, Chair, payment totaling 26 million have been made. 826, sorry. To date, payments totaling Kenya shilling 826 million have been made across the 3 schemes, which gives a balance of 1 billion, which the management has prioritized to settle in the subsequent financial years. The county treasury has also developed a structure, arrears clearance plan for the next 3 financial years, 2025, 2026, to the year 2027, 2028, detailing annual allocation earmarked to offset the remaining balances. In addition, Honorable Chair, the county has instituted an internal mechanism to ensure current pension deductions and employee contributions are remitted promptly on a monthly basis. These include integrating a payroll and pension remittance system, regular reconciliation with the pension administrators, and quarterly monitoring by the county internal audit unit. The county government reaffirmed its full commitment to ensuring compliance with pension regulations to comply, clearing all outstanding obligations within the agreed time frame to safeguard outstanding obligation within the agreed, to safeguard employees' retirement benefits and prevent further penalties. Lab fund statement supporting payment extract from lab fund, lab trust, and also CPF DC scheme are attached for verification. Appendix 12, when you look at the appendix, we have the lab fund statement and payment vouchers.
Okay, Auditor General, you said you had interacted with those documents. What's your opinion?
Chair, the documentation attached have been reviewed and confirmed, and that the matter is progressively being addressed. So, Chair, we confirm that 1.085 billion is still outstanding.
Are you able to give us an assurance that current deductions are being remitted? Because there's a historical reconciliation problems, but then there's a monthly payroll that is being processed. Governor, can you give us the assurance that you are currently deducting and remitting? Or are you still deducting and piling it up?
Chair, can I add just a simple question in your addition? Governor, through the chair, because one of the observations in the OAG certificate indicated that you are likely to attract penalties with interest. Is that the position? I yield back, Chair.
Maybe Senator Ledamo Lekina?
I think for me, Mr. Chairman, given that these are issues that are affecting all the counties, I just wanted to know from the governor whether you are engaging these statutory bodies to be able to do away with the penalties and the interest. Because I'm aware that other counties are actually having that conversation, especially the interest and penalties that you inherited from the defunct local authorities, as well as the interest that you inherited from the previous administration. Because I think this 1.9 billion, and maybe you can tell us what percentage of it is actual contribution vis-a-vis the interest and the penalties.
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. I want to confirm to you that the total amount you see, 1.9, almost about 400 million is on interest that has been accruing for since the time of the defunct county government, county councils, and partly, the last 10 years. But as Senator for Narok has just asked whether we are engaging, indeed we are. We are having talks with the 3 funds so that they can waive away the interest that will mean that if they can remove about 400 million Kenya shilling here, you can see that it will be owing about 600. And that is a figure that we can settle within the next 2 financial years.
No.
And on the issue of remittance, we are indeed on time. We remit all our dues when we are paying the salary. Every 26th month of the month, when salaries are paid, we remit the fund.
The only way to confirm that is we provide an aging analysis of the 1.9. Right. Yeah. So alongside the aging analysis, because this was part of the pending bills, that's why we tied them together. Alongside that aging analysis, you must do an aging analysis for the trade payables and staff payables. Let's separate them, because in terms of oral submission, we cannot establish that the bad habits of the past are not happening now, unless we see a proper aging analysis.
Governor, your area senator made a very critical point. You have done well by diverting that out of 1.9, 400 million is accrued interest. But I've looked at your annexes, in one of the LAF fund, Annex 12 that you have provided, I cannot see any correspondence that you have tried to, with the LAF fund and all these schemes, you have started to request them to waive the interest and penalties, because I know, Chair, even when you discuss with KRA, they are more likely. Is there engagement to ensure that, as you, because you have said this is 1 year, but Chair, in the reading of the LAF fund letter, it says after 15th of the preceding month, you will always attract an interest. So is there an engagement to ensure that even as you pay the balance of 1.08 billion, they cannot impose on you in these 2 financial years another interest? Can you, is there an engagement of such sort? I yield back, Chair.
Governor?
Chair, yes, we have the engagement. I can produce the letters that we have written to the 3 funds, and we are in talk with them. I didn't bring it because it was not one of the issues that I thought we needed it. But indeed, as Senator for Nandi has indicated, we have studied, and there's some good talks that they might actually waive this amount if we can pay another 400 million to show that at least we are trying. These funds also have their rules and regulations that govern them. And I have those letters, several of them.
Now, Governor, the last time I had a conversation with the chair of the Council of Governors, it was on this subject. That's the last time we had a conversation with him, and we were trying to find a way of taking a global view, because it's a matter that cuts across many of the counties. Even though in Kwale demonstrated that they didn't have outstanding pension obligations. But I think Nairobi has a serious problem. The cities have big problems, and now Narok is joining that list. And you see, this is a kind of conversation that we'd be very happy to have with the COG and governors. And the chair of COG, in his own admission, he calls this theft. He agrees this is theft because, first of all, you have requisitioned money, gross, which includes these pension deductions, and you are not paying it. You have also deducted it from the employee. You have pinched the employee's payslip, so the employee is taking home less, and you are not remitting it. And we agreed that even though this was, things of the past, there's no other way to describe it. You are stealing from yourself, you are stealing from the employee, and not remitting. When you go to the pension fund and say you want to waive interest, you are again stealing from the employee. Because it is that interest, that money is supposed to be invested so that when the employee retires, he can get something out of the invested contributions. So if you go and scrap the interest, again, you are stealing from the employee, you are denying the pension fund's money. And we had agreed that this is such a critical matter that the Senate and the relevant committee of the Council of Governors should sit down and ask whether there's some laws that need to be tightened or regulations that need to be tightened. I know for now we have agreed the control of budget, that when counties requisition gross, and then you pay employees net, and then you do not remit the deductions, they should not approve the next requisition. I don't know whether they're already putting in place that control. But this is a matter that requires engagement between the council, the Senate, and the pension funds. And we shall avail ourselves for that conversation. But for us to see the extent of the problem, please provide an aging analysis of unremitted retirement benefit contributions for Narok. That will enable us to make appropriate recommendations. If we find the habit is ongoing, we shall define it as theft. And we shall make very strong recommendations on those who are stealing from employees and stealing from the county. Senator Ledamo.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Chairman, I agree. But one of the things that we must now tighten our belts and also our rules in terms of remittance from the COG to the county governments. Because I think this is also affecting, to be honest with you, it is affecting our Senate offices, where when we're supposed to get an exchequer release, and pay salaries, it delays. And these statutory bodies want their money on time. So I think this is a conversation we need to have, all of us, and discuss on how, when there are delays, some counties, and I don't know whether Narok is the same, sometimes the COB delays releasing money for 3 months. So counties stay for 3 months without getting their salaries. So of course, Lab Fund will want their money on time. So I think this is something that we may need to consider reviewing the legislation, looking at the Constitution as well, because, you know, the Constitution is not static. Even though the Constitution says that a share of revenue given to the county government shall be released without undue deductions, we may want to consider whether we deduct and pay directly to the statutory bodies and send the net to the counties so that they can pay the employees to stop this problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
When we do that, we'll have admitted that counties are incompetent. If we pay the statutory deductions from the center, we'll have admitted that county governments...
Chair, I think it's a growing frustration with the Senate, because you remember, other than Ledama's motion, which we passed last time, Ledama's motion was passed by the entire House, and Senator, because you were not here, some in the Council of Governors have told us in this committee, not your governor, the governor for Embu came and told us that she will be writing to the Senate to say we were not very wise in passing that motion, which you yourself drafted. You know, we have a very interesting situation, Chair. We have young people, suppliers in the counties who are owed millions of shillings. In Nairobi here, our pending bill, Governor, is over 1 billion shillings, 100 billion.
100 billion.
And people come to my office and they break down. They tell me, Sifuna, I have been auctioned, all my equipment has been taken away by the banks. How is it not possible for us to get this payment? Then motions such as Ledama's are brought to the Senate floor. We see the sense in him saying bills below 1 billion shillings should be paid by the end of the last financial year. That's what you passed, what we passed as a House. Then a county governor comes and tells us, oh, by the way, you people just pass things that you don't think through. Maybe we should swap places with Cecily Marire. I want to be the governor of Embu and she comes and does the work in the Senate on behalf of the people of Nairobi. Because how is it possible to argue like that? When we sit together, we would like to see solutions to problems, Governor. We want to see solutions to problems. Because at the end of the day, it is not just about who is who or who is what. It's about providing actual solutions to the people. So we were so desperate as a Senate that we even said, I remember during that debate, Senator Ledama, we said even these pending bills now, if the county governments are not able to follow the law that says that there shall be a fast charge. And I remember this same governor from Embu, when we asked her what is her understanding of the words fast charge, what does fast charge mean to her? You know, so if we are unable to, Senator, we are unable to enforce that, maybe we should tell Treasury to take over the pending bills for counties and pay directly from here. Because, Chair, which other way is there to deal with this problem?
It will be micromanagement of counties. Already, these counties, and I mean, this is the conversation we should be having in the Senate. You find the national government takes over your hospital. There's a hospital here which you are told that the DOD has taken over. They do the procurement themselves, they do the work themselves. What are they confirming? That you are incompetent. We saw in Nyandarua, where they took over JM Karaoke Memorial Hospital. They didn't even change the contractor. It was transferred to the DOD, the same contractor. The money paid directly, not through the county. What are they trying to say? Is that you are incompetent. And it will go on and on. You'll find that even a stadium, you own the land, the national government says they're helping you to build a stadium, but they're controlling the procurement, they are paying the contractors directly. It is a growing threat to devolution. And so if we get to a point where Treasury is the one paying pending bills, then it will put to serious question the competence of governors and the governments that, that they run. I don't know, Governor, whether you...
Chair, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Sorry.
Chair,
But put yourself in the shoes of these county suppliers. Put yourself in their situation. Maybe instead of saying Treasury should pay it directly, they should give that money to the Senate. We pay ourselves. we pay the suppliers because you know, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
The frustration is the suppliers know that the money has been requisitioned.
Correct.
But they're not getting paid.
Yes.
Yet the money has left the public office.
Maybe in addition, and I want to agree largely with what Senator Sifuna is saying, but you know, Senator Sifuna and Governor, we have an history of medical equipment supplies, the mess, where counties used to have more than 200 million being deducted automatically in Nairobi, in Treasury. And it became what we call an organized criminal enterprise of public ripoff. In fact, that is quote unquote the report that was tabled by the committee of the Senate in the last session. I think, Chair, when we met and we have sat with the controller of budget, I think under your guidance in the last session, the controller of budget and we asked her if Narok County, for purposes of discussion, Senator Ledama, they have requisition with the COP to pay Senator Ledama for Nkanasa milk, maybe 100 million, for example. Now, I'm just using as an example. For purposes of discussion.